نحمده ونصلي على رسوله الكريم أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh and welcome to another Business Matters program. It's the 15th of April. It's a Monday night. It's 7:15 and that means it's Business Matters. Yes, we've taken a break over the Ramadan period. And we hope that all of you have remembered us in your du'as, as Siraj alluded to in his earlier program. But we're back on air, and back on air with a person that needs no introduction to Radio Al Ansar, Mr. Solly Suleman. Solly, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thanks for having me on the show this evening.
Solly, you wear many hats, one being the president of the Minara Chamber of Commerce, which sponsors this program and is the persons that bring you this program. But besides that, you're involved in so many pharmaceutical societies, involved in so many other societies and organizations. I hope you took it easy over the month of Ramadan.
That's my dreams, I think I've got ADHD,
Yeah.
So I was more active in Ramadan this year than I've ever been in Ramadan in the past years,
Okay.
I don't normally travel in Ramadan, but this year I was in Cape Town for the first few days of Ramadan. Then I was in Joburg for a pledge line and launching of the Minara Gauteng expansion plan and that type of thing. So it was quite a nice Ramadan this year. Alhamdulillah.
Okay, let's start with your visit to the Cape, because I saw some photographs somewhere with you standing with a bunch of people launching the Minara Chamber of Commerce in the Cape. So tell us a little bit about what's happening out there and what role you're playing in that sphere.
We used the Ramadan period now to strengthen the Minara Chamber because South Africa, especially in the two main centers. So the one in the first weekend of Ramadan, I was in the Western Cape. I was in Cape Town for a few days because two of my children are there working in Cape Town. So I thought I'll spend some time with them. And decided to have a meeting with certain leadership in Cape Town, businessmen and entrepreneurs. And we decided to, we've been talking about setting up the Cape Town branch for quite a long time. And I said, let's rather stop talking and rather act and make things happen. So Alhamdulillah, we've set up the Cape Town branch with a number of prominent business individuals and professionals. Riaz Ahmed from Good Hope Meat is now the chairman of that branch. And Alhamdulillah, we kind of, more representative nationally rather than just in Durban and Gauteng. So that's been quite a phenomenal achievement. And then in the next, on the 3rd of May, we'll have a soft launch of the branch, courtesy of, and sponsored by Al Baraka Bank. And we'll be having the actual soft launch in Cape Town on the 3rd of May, just to kind of introduce the Minara Chamber to the media and to the businessmen and women and professionals in the Western Cape. I suppose I have to mention women because I think they are an important part of our future projects and empowerment processes,
Yes, and in your initial introduction in the Cape, how has the Minara Chamber of Business been accepted?
Well, they've been waiting for it for quite a long time, and we've actually, never really got down to, expanding the chamber to the Western Cape and to Cape Town. But Alhamdulillah, it was the enthusiasm. In fact, I think they're so enthusiastic that they've had the first meeting last Friday afternoon, and they're looking forward to basically growing the branch and looking forward to the launch. And in fact, two of the members will come down to Durban to spend some time with us to kind of, for an induction and orientation to understand the chamber and its history and where we are and where we need to go. Introducing new blood means we'll also be given some guidance, and a new energy as such. Because I think it's important that we have people that come on board with expertise and experience, and we need to understand that we have to also learn from others.
Absolutely. Does this mean, Solly, and I know we're not going to talk about it later in the program, that in the near future we may well be holding one of our business awards evenings in the Cape?
Well, that'll be the idea. I think, historically we've had it in Durban, almost every year except 1 year. And I think it's important to now move the awards to both Johannesburg and Cape Town. We had one awards evening in Johannesburg a while back, but we haven't had that since. But I think it's important. I think it's like the Islamic Medical Association has their convention in the three main centers, alternating from year to year. So I think the same process we'll use as well. I think it's important, just to rope in and get the people in those cities to sort of buy into the concept and understand what we're about,
Yes, and we're not seeing the same people over and over again, and we're also giving the organizers in a particular center a break so that other people can also take over and learn from their experiences.
Correct. I think it's important. The things you have to re-energize an organization. One has to basically do a look at the plans and objectives and the whole idea of Minara Chamber as a Muslim chamber. Although we say a Muslim chamber, but it's a chamber with an Islamic ethos, open to all membership. We don't restrict membership to Muslims, as such. We've got a number of non-Muslim members as well. But the thing is, the basic ethos is Islamic, and I think going forward, you need to have some type of succession planning. We kind of almost passed our sell-by date, so we need to sort of get new energy, new recruits, and people need to buy in, because I think it's important from a business point of view, from a professional point of view. People need to kind of join an organization like this which can empower them. And, in fact, I think the Western Cape will probably do far better than we do, because people there are far more enthusiastic, in getting involved in process. Sometimes you have programs in KZN or in Durban, you find you don't have the same type of enthusiasm, unfortunately.
Well, we see that definitely when it comes to the marches in support of Gaza and other places. I mean, the numbers and the type of enthusiasm with which the people turn out in the Cape far exceeds anything in Durban or Johannesburg, for that matter.
Absolutely. I was talking to the people in the Western Cape, when we met with them in early Ramadan, and they mentioned it. They said, when we have, for example, a program for women and to empower women and create programs for entrepreneurship and skills development, so a huge crowd comes in. We have that type of thing in Durban. Unfortunately, we don't have the same type of response, unfortunately. So I think we're going to be learning quite a bit from the West, from the Cape Town leadership, inshallah.
Yeah, just on another matter, I was speaking about the Western Cape. I received an invitation the other day from a friend of mine in Cape Town who's going for Hajj this year. And this is like 6 to 8 weeks in advance, a proper invitation saying we will be leaving home on a certain date at a certain time, taking a certain flight and returning on a certain date. And apparently it's a huge affair when somebody is going for Hajj. Everybody from the community gathers at the home, and there's a whole lot of zikr and du'as that take place, and people are kind of sent off out of the house. So I mean, I'm actually tempted to attend one of these just to see what it's all about. But I've been told it's quite an occasion.
Yeah, it's absolutely different from us. We just take it for granted. We book our flight, we meet family members, and that's it. We're gone. Yeah. They have functions upon functions before they leave, and even people go to the airport. With us nowadays, it's so taken for granted. We're there at the airport. We don't have 50 family members joining us.
Yeah, no, so I think it's quite an occasion, because very respectfully, the people of the Cape, especially from the poorer class, it's probably the first and the last opportunity that they have to visit the holy sites and to go for Hajj. So they really they prepare very well for the journey, even attending classes and things beforehand for weeks and months in advance, so that when they get there, they know exactly what it's all about. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right, let's talk a bit about your visit to Gauteng. How's the Minara Chamber going in Gauteng?
Well, Oscar Mohammed from Esquire, he's been the chairman there for quite a while, and before that was Shiraz Ghani. Now, the thing is, we needed to kind of basically create more energy there, increase the number of committee members, and ensure that it reinvigorate the branch as such. So we've actually brought in a few additional members and into the branch, and I must say they were very enthusiastic. I think one of the individuals is the former chairman of the South African tourism board. Another one is quite a good businessman who owns a Monarch Hotel and Inks TV and that type of thing. And there's a lawyer, an attorney that joined us, a lady who's an entrepreneur there as well. So we've got a good group we met in Ramadan when I went up for the evening there for the IMA pledge line. And there's quite a lot of enthusiasm because Askar was on his own, and you've got such a lot of potential in Gauteng. I mean, it's a business hub, so it's alhamdulillah. I'm looking forward to kind of the guidance and re-energizing of that chapter. And in fact, I'm going to be in Johannesburg on Wednesday because we are basically joining the Indonesian investment conference there at lunch on Wednesday, and in the evening there's about 15 top-notch businessmen from Turkey that's being hosted by the various chambers there, and we're hosting them in partnership with the CBE. Okay. Congress of Business and Economics in Johannesburg. So on Wednesday night we're going to be spending some time there with that. So the branch committee, the new committee members now will see exactly the benefit of being part of the Minara, and then of course chamber, as well as we're hoping to rope in a few more members as such. Okay. I think it's important that we kind of start expanding our horizon and make sure that we bring in as many new members as possible, and that's been a challenge for us over the years. We've been growing at a very slow rate, but we need to grow at a faster rate, because can you imagine if a large percentage of our professionals and businessmen are part of the Minara Chamber? Can you imagine what a powerful organization and powerful tool you have to ensure that you grow, not just grow, empower the Muslim community, you empower the disadvantaged community. I think this is one of the important aspects and pillars of the Minara Chamber, not only to empower Muslim business. Obviously, you want to conscientize Muslim business as far as the Islamic ethos, Islamic finance, Islamic economics, and that type of thing. But more than that, you want to empower the community at large, because that's your base of future business and future professionals, and it's a form of dawah as well,
Absolutely. If you've just joined us, you're on the Minara Chamber of Commerce Business Matters program on Radio Al Ansar. I've had the honor and privilege of speaking to Solly Suleman about the activities of the Minara Chamber of Commerce, what's been happening in Cape Town, what's been happening in Johannesburg. And if you want to pose any questions to Solly, then the number in the studio, 0861 904 904, or you could WhatsApp us on 060 904 1056. Any questions related to the Minara Chamber of Commerce that you would like to pose to Mr. Solly Suleman, he'd be ready to answer. Solly, closer to the ground, closer to Durban, I believe you have lots of exciting things lined up for the Minara Chamber for the next few months. So you want to take us through some of these activities?
Yeah, I think one of the highlights of the Minara year is the awards the awards dinner that we have, and this is taking place on the 25th of October this year at Orient Hall. But I think the important part of this is that we've now launched the actual call for nominations. I think this is important. I think this is why I'm hoping that the Johannesburg and Cape Town branch as well participate in a bigger way, because it's not just a Durban thing, this awards dinner. It's basically for businessmen and professionals from around the country. And I think the important part of these nominations is that the community, the listeners need to identify movers and shakers in the community, businesswomen, businessmen, professionals, community builders, and nominate them. Send the nomination through to our offices, and we can basically ensure that we have as many people as possible participating. But remember, the awards is not just about people wanting to be recognized. It's a thing we want them to be recognized because they are the leaders of the community. Many of them have worked hard to get where they are. They've struggled to get where they are, and they are role models that we need to emulate. So we need people to really nominate as many people as possible. We have launched the nomination process already, and I think this is important. And the next event that we have is the Minara Golf Day.
So before that we're going to be having in July. Just to reiterate, the date has been set, and that's the 25th of October. So mark that on your calendars. And you've now moved the venue to the Orient Hall. Last year it was at the Ilangeni, but I see this year you've
Yes.
moved it to the Orient Hall.
Yeah, we thought it's more appropriate to have it in a facility of that nature, because last year we were restricted to 40 tables, and it became a challenge to expand that.
Right.
And then, although the food was very good there, but it's a costly affair to have it in one of these hotels, and then you have to worry about people get a bit worried about the halal issue and that type of thing. Although we had it certified by NIHT, but it still had issues.
Right.
So we thought we'd rather have it in a hall and provide the type of facilities, and you got the Salah facilities there as well. So it's really an important thing, and then it allows us to expand it. If more people want to come in to the dinner, then we're not restricted by numbers. I mean, Orient can take in 500, 600 people as well.
Yes, and in previous years, I mean, you have had it at the NMJ Hall as well. So I mean.
Correct.
So
Correct, yeah.
So I think Orient Hall would be a nice venue, big enough, and hopefully we'll fill the hall to the rafters for that evening.
Inshallah, and I think that will be important. I think, as you said, the second thing is the Minara Golf Day that we're having in July.
Right.
This opportunity for the golf day is raising funds for the organization. Remember, we are an NGO, a non-profit organization, which really needs the funds. So we use the dinner, we use the golf day and other events to raise funding, so it maintains the office and our, basically our staffing and that type of thing. So the golf day it's an opportunity for the golfers to basically, interact, network, and support the organization. And then we've got, hopefully we'll get sponsors for the various holes and that type of thing.
Excellent. And the date again for that golf day, if you've got it, Solly?
I think it's the 4th
of July.
I'll just tell you, 4th of July. I'll tell you right now. It's 7th of. 21st of July. 21st of July at the Royal Durban Golf Course.
21st of July, Royal Durban Golf Course. For those golfers, when you get your 4 balls together and put your entries in for that very worthy cause, supporting the Minara Chamber of Commerce, and also enjoying a day full of fun and laughter, and having your golf shootout as well. So yeah,
and we'll have we'll have many prizes, for the best golfers and the worst golfers, and the longest drive and nearest the pin and all those type of things.
We also have the prize for the guys who can kick the ball the furthest.
Keep the ball.
I believe there's a few of them, but anyway, we won't go there. But yeah, a lovely day out for golfers to enjoy, and I think even those that are just hacking around a bit, it'll be good to support.
Yeah, it'll be good from a support point of view. And we're hoping. Last year we had a golf pro coaching some of the guys as well. So we could obviously introduce that as well.
Lovely. So remember that day, 21st of July. Before we go on an ad break, Solly, what else has the Minara got planned for the foreseeable future?
Well, the Minara is now, has joined or become a member of the International Islamic Chamber of Commerce and Industry and Agriculture, which is quite an achievement. And thanks to Al Barakah Bank, who sponsored the membership fee, it cost about $5,000.
Wow.
It's almost 90,000 rands. But alhamdulillah, Al Barakah has sponsored that. So we are members of the Islamic Chamber of Commerce and Industry. And we basically have many projects lined up in partnership with them. And one of them is a family business. They're looking at a seminar in Durban in August. The dates are not finalized yet, but in August they're looking at having the a seminar on family business. And the Secretary General is Brother Kalawi, who's basically quite a fundi on that, and he's also director of Barakah International. So that's a plan. And then we're looking at negotiating now for a South African Halal Expo covering the Southern Africa and the Great African region. So that's another big thing.
Before we go there, the seminar that is planning, the family seminar, that I'm sure will attract a lot of foreign guests and dignitaries as well.
Well, that I'm not. Basically they're targeting South Africans, not really.
Okay.
You will have the actual presenter will be international presenter.
Right.
But the actual individuals that we're hoping to get will be from South Africa, basically. We're hoping from all the big businesses that we have
Right.
in South Africa. Many of them will hopefully they'll participate in this type of spam. So remember, many of us have businesses that have our sons or grandsons in the business, and how does one protect protect the business going forward?
Right.
And many businesses are collapsed by the third generation, split up and collapsed and that type of thing. So one needs to plan ahead from that point of view. So that's the one. So it's for the local businessmen and family businesses.
Very important for succession planning.
Correct. Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay. And then the next thing you got planned?
Yeah, now we're busy negotiating with the executive of the Islamic Chamber of Commerce. They've got about 57 countries, OIC countries and other countries, including the UK and what have you, as part of their membership, and they basically want us to host. And you remember in January, we had the Makkah Halal Forum that was held in Makkah.
Right.
And it was quite a success. I was there for that one. And then now they want South Africa to host it. So Minara Chamber needs to host it in South Africa together with partners, for example, the tourism industry. I mean, remember when you talk about halal, South African Halal Expo, it's not restricted to food. It's tourism, hospitality, cosmetics, and many other things. So they're hoping that we could actually coordinate and host the next South African Halal Expo, covering the entire Southern African region. And more than that, it's actually to invite international exhibitors and international delegates to come to South Africa. So it's a big opportunity for people to come to South Africa as tourists and to bring their their wares to basically exhibit it to the population of country. But we're hoping to get a substantial number of international delegates. So people from 57 different chambers in the world,
wow,
especially the Muslim chambers. We're hoping that we're still in the discussion stages. So hopefully we can put it together. And if it works, then it'll be great for South Africa and for our business and that type. So we need to get buy-in from government, buy-in from the tourism industry, hospitality industry, the manufacturing industry, the certifying bodies. So it's going to be quite a mammoth task to put that together.
I'm sure this is quite an undertaking, and you would need all the support you can get.
Absolutely. It'll be quite substantial, yeah.
Okay, Solly, let's take a bit of an ad break because the station also needs to pay its bills. And when we come back, we'll talk about other aspects of the chamber, what it does in terms of support for local business, and also then talking a little bit about your collaborative efforts with other organizations and stakeholders.
Okay, no problem.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. You're on air with Anwar Mullah. It's the Business Matters program. Business Matters program brought to you by the Minara Chamber of Commerce. And yes, we are speaking to the president of the Minara Chamber of Commerce this evening, Mr. Solly Suleman himself, and he's been filling us in on the various activities and the various regions that the Minara is involved in, and the very exciting upcoming events that, like the Golf Day, the annual awards evening, which this year is taking place at the Orient Hall in October. And we're going to now be talking a little bit to Solly about how the Chamber actually supports local businesses and what resources or services it offers them to help them to thrive in this very, very difficult economic environment. Solly, are you there?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No. The chamber was formed about 23 years ago, and the focus was how do we benefit and empower Muslim businesses at that point in time. And of course, the basic, the basis was an Islamic ethos, as I mentioned earlier on, that the membership is open to all, and we've got a number of non-Muslim members that are doing business with each other. So the Minara is just a vehicle for entrepreneurship development, for established businesses and non-established businesses network with each other. And we have many training programs and seminars that we continuously host and, of course, facilitate. It's different from other chambers because we basically not just focus on business, we also focus on how to ensure that, charity is used our business business, resources optimally. And for example, we had years ago set up a Minara Poverty and Relief Committee, because at one stage when, we had a situation where there were xenophobic riots and what have you, we found that many organizations were basically provided, half a dozen or more organizations were providing lunch and supper to these refugees. And we found that they were using, it was just being wasted. So we set up that type of thing. So it's not just the business side of it. We basically focused on, how do we make sure that business donations are used optimally and not wasted. And of course, we've increased our partnership over the years with the local, national, and foreign forums. For example, various embassies, trading, trading departments of these embassies, government departments. We've interacted with many government departments. So we add value to address and facilitate solutions where businesses are challenged, due to various factors. For example, even during the COVID process, we had set up, chat groups where people were completely confused of how to claim TERS and how to benefit from the various options that were being granted to them. And it worked very well, because in these forums, we had both lawyers and businessmen and professionals as well. And of course, when it comes to coverage, the members are given benefits of advertising once a week between, promoting member-to-member business. And whenever there's a challenge or unforeseen situations, for example, when we had, as I mentioned, COVID, we had riots, we had floods, we always were there to support the members and of course, non-members as well. Often we find that non-members want help as well, and we kind of help them where we can. We don't just, send them off, send them away. And then, of course, we give updates and of course, assist business on an ongoing basis to ensure that they understand what's going on in the marketplace. For example, we part and parcel of the, one of our directors is on the presidential committee for Etequeni. Remember, President Solly Suleman set up a presidential committee with the various business chambers, and we are on that. We're on something called a war room, for the last couple of years, where a number of the chambers are part and parcel of that. And we're also part of the case at KwaZulu-Natal Business Chamber as well, but in fact all the business chambers are part of that. But as far as the presidential working group is concerned, we kind of in there. The bottom line is even the provincial and economic advisory council. And I said, even the war room. But, the unfortunate thing is that, you sit amongst the powers that be, but whether they really take your advice and guidance is another issue altogether,
Okay, Solly, you've recently also partnered with what you would call a gold partner and a silver partner. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so basically the main partner, the platinum partner, I think it's Standard Bank. Standard Bank are the biggest sponsors and title holders of the Minara Awards evening. Then you've got 27-4 are the gold sponsors, and then you've got Emergivac with the silver sponsors, and we're hoping to get other sponsors as well to actually support the support the awards evening.
So Standard Bank has come on board as your platinum partner for this year.
Platinum sponsor. Yeah, they've been a sponsor over the last few years, but this year they've come in very, very much earlier, because what we decided to do this year, we started the process of planning the awards dinner at the end of last year. We said, every year we wait too long, and then suddenly you're sitting at about August, June, July, and you still haven't really finalized everything. So this year we decided in November, December, let's get all our ducks in a row. We've actually, Idris Kamisa is the MC for the evening. We've got Riyaz Hafiji, who's the Vice President of Toyota South Africa. He's going to be the keynote speaker.
Okay.
We've already, Naledi Pando would be the Lifetime Achiever awardee. Wow. So we've already sort of got all those type of things. She's accepted that award for Lifetime Achiever, and I think she deserves it. Absolutely. So we've actually gone far ahead of the previous years, and of course the nominations are open now, and we're hoping that we get many more. You need as many nominations as possible. So you've got an opportunity for the judges, an opportunity to kind of sift through that and get more information from the various nominees before the end of July. 31st of July is the cutoff date for nomination. But I would suggest that nominations come in from now rather than waiting for the 31st of July.
Yes, I recently interacted with Riaz Hafizi as well. He used to be the CEO of a listed company called Met-A and is now one of the vice presidents of Toyota South Africa, and a excellent choice as a keynote speaker. So yeah, something to look forward to for that evening as well. Solly, we don't have too much of time left, so we just need to run through some of the other projects. I'm sure by now, if there's any foreign delegations that are coming through to South Africa and KZN in particular, the Minara Chamber of Commerce would be one of the first organizations to get a call to say, can you host them or can you set up a networking opportunities with other businesses and things. So you would be now, I think, recognized on a global stage rather than just nationally.
Yeah, in fact, from the South African government's point of view, whenever it's a Muslim, delegation coming, or even going out, the first people they talk to is ourselves. So we're quite well recognized in provincial and national government. And at the same time, when it comes to many of the foreign delegates that come to South Africa, they normally approach us immediately, and they want us to host them in Durban, amongst other chambers as well. But we are always ready to host them. We're always ready to basically have them around the table and make sure our members have access to them and that type of thing. So we basically, over the last 20 some odd years, we find that we're a recognized brand. And I was talking to one of our guys in Johannesburg, as I mentioned earlier, and who was the South African tourism head at one stage, and he was under Lindiwe Sisulu. And then when the new minister took over, there was a bit of a challenge. But he's also now involved with the Saudi Tourism Authority. So he's representing the Saudi Tourism Authority in South Africa. So he was quite, when I first spoke to him and said, why don't you come? He said, I'm thrilled and I'm happy and excited because, Minara Chamber has always been up in our minds and we didn't realize we could join, So we actually have a guy like him and some other good businessmen in Gauteng as well. So many of these delegations are happy to join us. And of course, many times they've actually asked us to send delegates to their countries. In fact, even in Makkah, we were requested to invite our members to basically exhibit there at no cost, but it was too short a notice,
Okay. I think, Solly, the other thing that we need to encourage, and particularly from the Minara point of view, is there's too many businesses that feel that being involved with the Minara is not quite for them. They don't see what value they can add or what value the Minara can add to their businesses. Yet, personally, our business is part of the Minara Chamber. I get the WhatsApp messages and things on literally on a day-to-day basis. And it's surprising to see that so many non-Muslim organizations actually see the value in the Minara and have become recently members of the Minara. So I think we need to use this also as an encouragement for our local businesses to say, get involved, and you'd be surprised as to how much of goodness and ideas and value will be added to the businesses through the Minara Chamber.
Yeah, that's a sad part. People don't. It's like what John F. Kennedy said at once. It's not what the country can do for you; it's what you can do for the country. Minara is a vehicle. Use it to as a stepping stone to the next level. Use it to interact with other businesses. And there are some top businessmen and women on the Minara Chamber. And there's such opportunity. Often you find people who say, okay, we want a visa, we want to do this, and we try and facilitate these type of things. But once you've done the job for them, you find that suddenly they don't even want to pay the fees. It's sad, really sad, because the more people that join the Minara Chamber, and we've got a very good relationship with UCSA, and we find that they always want us to be part and parcel of the deliberations and that type of thing. And, maybe we need to get the ulama involved in trying to ensure that businessmen join, because, it's the only Muslim chamber in the country. They have hundreds of other chambers or dozens of other chambers, but there's nothing like Minara. And we not just restricted to Durban, as you said, we're restricted, it's a national body, and we affiliated to an international body. So, it's important that the community understands the importance of being part of a collective. I mean, you have all this drama going on in the Middle East, and then we want to run about and, wonder why we basically are being trampled upon and just ignored because we're not united. You have to be united under certain banners. The more people join, the bigger, unity is strength. But, often people say, okay, we don't need the Minara, or we don't need IMA, or whatever it is, But the fact of the matter is, the greater the number of people that join, the greater the power, greater the interaction, greater the empowerment, and greater the opportunity to make life or make a difference to the lives of people out there. We have, as much as the Middle East has such major problems and, really need to pump in money there, but there's major, major challenges in South Africa. People are starving. People have lost their jobs. People can't be on a Medicaid. People have to go to public hospitals where they were at one stage on Medicaid and going to private hospitals and that type of thing. We're going through some very tough times in South Africa, and the only way we can actually benefit each other is to work with each other, to try and use the platforms to kind of benefit mankind, and inshallah hopefully we can get there.
Yeah, I think we passed the stage where we can adopt what we call the ostrich effect of just burying our heads in the sand and hoping it'll go away. We have to face the reality. And again, even as Muslims, we need to stand united because there's so much of pressure coming from so many of the other outside forces to fight against us. And again, unity is strength. We need to stand together and face the music. Solly, some parting comments from you. I mean, you sit on so many other bodies. You're exposed to so much out there, which we are not. And we're going through these really, really trying times now with what is happening in the Middle East. From your experiences, talking to people, talking to organizations, what are some advices or parting shots you can give us?
I think the important aspect, from the community is concerned, don't be apathetic about the elections coming up on the 29th of May. Be part of it. Get involved. Vote for parties you think will make a difference. I mean, at the end of the day, you can't sit back and say, I'm not going to vote, because that's what's going to make a difference to who gets elected and who's our leaders. And then we can't complain after. That's one of our biggest challenges. We complain after. But from a business and economic point of view, it's so uncertain. So uncertain. I mean, after the Iran attack on Israel, the thing is, then you got the entire West that's supporting Israel, irrespective of the genocide and irrespective of the, basically they just don't care about international law. Suddenly they go into the Security Council because Iran basically, attacked them in their country. But the fact of the matter is, we don't know where things are going to go. Rand could be at 50 Rand to $1 in the next 6 months. Who knows? The inflation, my God.
I hope you're wrong, but anyhow, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Anything could happen. The world is so uncertain. The oil price can go through the roof. The rand could go through the roof. It can weaken to such a point. I mean, anything could happen. So we need to be prepared to kind of work together and be prepared to basically put our shoulders to the wheel and help others. That's important. So the key thing is we don't know. Everything's so uncertain at the moment.
Yes, yeah. But your point is, use your vote. Don't sit back at home and keep complaining. Don't be a complainer. You have a vote. Use your vote. Make use of that vote and use it logically and sensibly.
Absolutely. Don't think that one vote is not going to make a difference. It's millions of the one single votes are going to make the difference,
Especially in KZN, now when we have the new parties, the Zuma party that's coming or whatever. We're living through very exciting times, and this election is
very
certainly going to
very concerning times.
Very uncertain, but dynamic times, and this election is going to be very, very different to anything else that we've experienced in the past.
Absolutely.
Okay. Solly, anyway. Excellent. Thanks for joining us this evening, giving us a complete insight into the Minara and the exciting times ahead for the Minara as well. We wish you and the Minara everything of the very, very best. I hope to carry on supporting you guys where we can, and also from a Radio Al Ansar perspective. So thanks once again, and thanks once again for always being available when we need you to come onto the show and fill us in with whatever it is doing. You wear so many hats from a Ahmad Al Qadi perspective, from a pharmaceutical society perspective, and also obviously from the Minara perspective as well. So thanks once again, and inshallah we'll speak to you again in the near future.
Shukran. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam. Yes, lovely having Solly Suleman sharing his evening with us, telling us so much about what's happening out there. A man that's very experienced and somebody that we can all learn from as we go along. From my point, I'm unfortunately not going to be with you for the next good few 5 to 6 weeks. I'm off to London on Wednesday, going and running the London Marathon this Sunday together with my son and daughter. Looking forward to that. And then doing a bit of a holiday in Croatia and Bosnia. And then I get home for 2 days and then I'm off to China. So I hope to be back on the airwaves with you sometime towards the middle to end, I think more towards the end of May. I'm sure the show will be in very capable hands in my absence. But yeah, it's been lovely being with you here tonight. I ask you once again to remember us and all of us in your du'as. And those of you that are still fasting, the 6 extra fasts of Shawwal, may that go well. Inshallah, Allah accept all your du'as as well. All of those who sat for itikaf, may all your du'as be accepted. And wherever you are, whatever you are, please don't forget Palestine, don't forget Gaza in your du'as. The Ummah needs you, the people of Palestine and Gaza need you, and the least we can do is give them our du'as. Inshallah, Allah accept. With that, it's wassalamu alaikum until I meet you again in a few weeks' time from the Minara Business Matters program, and inshallah see you again in the future. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.